All right, let's get started. Yay! Gonna grab myself a band or a towel because I can. Make the letter Y with my arms. Look how crooked I don't know if it's my shoulders are pretty tight if it's pretty crooked. There we go. Let's do this again. That's a little bit better. All right, so we're gonna do just a quick shoulder floss. So I have a band or a towel. Start with nice straight arms. Go above the head as far as you can behind the head and forward. Ay, ay, ay. We did do a fair amount of upper body yesterday, so it's good to get a little stretchy. Oh, it's so telling just watching my arms as they stretch out. Just working my way. Usually I can go right behind my head and my shoulders. I can see that I'm crooked, uneven, and I can see that my elbows are bending and trying to compensate. But I'm going to just keep going until I feel like I've gotten somewhere. Ooh. It's actually good for the neck too, because now we're stretching out the traps and shoulders, which actually causes the neck to be tight. Or sometimes it's the other way around. Ooh, I'm surprised how tight these are. There. Trying not to bend my elbows. It's like I just have to. Couple more. All right. Just gonna set this on the floor so I have it handy. Let's do some shoulder circles. Change direction. All right. Heater always kicks in right when I start this class. Okay, arms straight ahead. One out, the other. Stretch it out that way. All right. All right. All right. So I'm going to put my palms facing out, and I'm going to do just a big circle, almost like I'm imagining, or you could go up against a wall if you don't have any pictures on it, and run your palm along the wall. Switching sides. It's a really good way to stretch those shoulders. A lot of work. Try to keep stretched out. Arms out at your sides and just reach as far to the side as you can. Doing a little bit of a over under behind the back. Right. Over under, over under. And I'm going to grab my hand, hold my own hand. I'm going to push my shoulders forward, arms up. Trying to stretch from this way. I have my knees bent and stuff. I'm not going to be too fussy about it for the first time I'm bending towards my knees. Really trying to just stretch my shoulders anyways. Come back up. And I'm going to hold my elbows in the front, just like this, cup my elbows. And I'm going to go back down in that position and let the arms and elbows hang above my head. And then I'm going to make the shape of a rainbow, half circle, side to side. Now go back, go to the center and just let my arms drop to the floor. And then you can walk your hands side to side. Stretching that lower back. And then when you come back up, run your hands up your legs, nice and slow. All the way up to the top. Push the top of your head towards the ceiling and your hands towards the floor. Bring your palms forward. Let's lower that and just reset our scapula. So palms go all the way out as far as you can. And then just drop your arms to the floor. You should feel the shoulders just slightly drop. I'm going to take my right ear to my right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest, drop my head back, again back to center, right ear, right shoulder, and then I'll put the right hand on that ear and I'm going to push my hand into my ear towards the ceiling. Ooh, tight neck. Let's come back to center. Now let's take that left arm, put it behind your back, and we'll do it again. Right ear, right shoulder, right hand on that ear. Push the ear into the hand towards the ceiling. Then you can just run that hand up closer to the top of your head or your temple, and then just bring your chin forward. And don't forget to take nice, calm, deep breaths. Back to center. Left ear to left shoulder. Left hand on the ear. Push the ear into the hand. Back to center. Right arm behind the back. Left ear, left shoulder. Left hand on the ear. Push the ear towards the ceiling into the hand. Run the hand to the temple. Bring the chin forward. Back to center, chin to chest. We're going to roll our hands nice and slow all the way down to our toes and then walk onto the floor and go onto our hands and knees. So chin to chest, nice and slow. Let's be gentle with our bodies. Be mindful to where your hands reach, how far you can stretch. I'm going to walk my hands down. Go right to my hands and knees. So there is one way to, when you're stretching your back, they say to fill it full of blood and then drain the blood, fill it full of blood, drain the blood. So there's two ways to do this. The gentle way, excuse me, is we'll start with cat-cow. So turn those hip bones towards the ceiling. And then we're going to turn those hip bones towards the floor and bring the chest up. And then back. Switch. Back and forth. Okay, so you can either do child pose, which we'll start, all of us will start with, and then we can advance if you like, or you can just continue to do it this way. So child pose, we did work on that inner thighs. You might be feeling that right now. And you'll come forward onto your forearms and do a sphinx. So let's go back to either child pose or we're going to do downward dog, okay? Downward dog, and instead of sphinx, we're going to do cobra. So we have two choices. Downward dog, where I move my hands down so that I can push my arms through my hands. And now my lower back is high enough that all the blood's going to drain out of that lower back a bit. I'm going to alternately tap my heels. It's called walking the dog. Now, if you're in child pose, you're going to switch to sphinx, or you can come forward and drop those hips down to cobra. And if you like, you want to make it a little more of a hyperextension on that lower back. You just push yourself up onto your, if you had shoes, you'd be pushing up onto your laces and lifting those legs, or the tops of your feet. Or you just let your legs lie down until your hip falls towards the floor. And then we'll switch one more time. So you're either going to switch to downward dog or cobra. I try to move my hands so I'm not pushing too far out and stressing out my shoulders. And I'm going to walk the dog. We're just moving the blood around the muscles. That's why we're switching back and forth to these two. And then you're either going to sphinx, right into cobra. If this is too much for you, you can just go right down onto those forearms. Just let those hips gently lay on the floor. I'm going to stretch my arms straight out above my head. So my arms are by my ears. I'm going to lift my right hand and left foot. And then left hand, right foot, like I'm a swimmer, alternate sides. And try and make your limbs as long and stretched out as possible when you do this. Let go. myself up, back to my hands and knees. Take my right knee and put it between my hands. And then I have a 45-degree angle on that bottom part of my leg. So now my heel is underneath my hip. So right leg, my heel is under my left hip. Then I'll go down to my forearms. And if you can, you will stretch your arms over your head and lie straight down. Should be stretching your glute, the back of your hip, a little bit of lower back. This is one of the stretches that is for stenosis. If you have that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Then I'll come back up, back to my hands and knees. I'm going to take my same right leg and put it out to the side so the inside of my foot's on the floor. And I'm going to do a body rock, forward and back. Working my way back so that I can technically go into a child pose position like this with my one leg out. Now, if you have to, you could use both your hands and support yourself, especially if that inner hamstring is super tight, and lower yourself down. And then if you can lean forward, you'll feel more of a pull. You could have both your hands above your head and lie down like you're in child pose, but that really depends on the ability. I find it's a little much for me sometimes, like today. I'll come back up, back to my hands and knees. Now I'm going to put my left knee between my two hands. My heel is going to go under my right hip. Let's go back down onto your forearms. And if you can, reach out over your head and lie down. Might be too much for your knee or your hip or your leg. I'm finding the pull in the back of my glute, hip, a little intense. So I'm going to take a deep breath in and let go. Deep breath in, relax. Super tight there too. That's from traveling, I think. All right. Left leg straight out at the side. And I'm going to rock forward and back. It's called body rock. Just gently improving the mobility by rocking to and fro. And when you feel you're ready, you can either go down into child pose, or you could use your hands to brace yourself and improve that stretch. But if you can, bring your shoulders towards your knees. And take a deep breath in and let that inner hammy go. Inside of your thigh. Pull in. Back up onto your hands and knees. You're going to do a bit of a tail wag. When you do that, what you're trying to do is make the space between your shoulder and your hip smaller. So, turn your head and your body. So you're pushing your hip and your shoulder towards each other. me do it the other way. The other side. Tight. Side to side. Tail wagging it. We did do some fire hydrants, donkey kicks yesterday, which you might be feeling your lower back a bit. We were sneakily strengthening your lower back yesterday. And now I'm just going to go right into child pose again. Right there. Sometimes when I'm doing child pose, I like to stretch my lats, which is the part of your back just below your shoulder. So I'm going to come up a bit, put both my hands over to the left, and then go back there. May as well stretch the other side, so I'm going to put both my hands over to the right and go back down. Back to center. I'm going to take my right arm and put it across my chest and then go back down again so I can stretch the back of that shoulder. So while we're stretching our upper body, we get to stretch our hips. Switch sides. Left arm across my chest. Coming back up. All right. We've got lots of time. I'm gonna lie on my side. Doesn't matter which side you lie on, you can just switch sides after. We're gonna start with crocodile, so knees, hips parallel. Bringing that arm all the way back to behind me. Oh, balls there. Hey, ball. Forward. Back one more time. Meow. Perch. Forward again. This time, I'm going to scooch forward a bit so I don't hit that ball. This time I'm going to straighten the bottom leg to bring my knee to the floor. And I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to goalpost and twist and drop that elbow and shoulder in a goalpost position behind me. Just going to let gravity stretch the chest that I worked yesterday doing my chest flies. And everything else with this guy. See you. Don't come back. That's funny. These balls, eh? They just know where not. If they're like a pet, they just know where not to go. Exercising or stretching. Oh, that feels so good. Breath in. Let it go. Just accept what is. Me, I have to accept that I'm going to be camping in the mud and rain for Not my cup of tea, but it is what it is. All right, come forward, bring that knee back up, because we're going to do a shoulder sweep, thumb to the floor. Keep that thumb to the floor and go as far back behind as you can, and then forward again. I really worked the front of my shoulder yesterday. It was those up across downs. Oh, the chest fly didn't help. Good though. Means I'm getting stronger. Meow. Alright. To the other side. Alright, ball, you're kicked out of here. Alright. Gonna lie on my side, go right to alligator again. Knees together, arms straight out at the front. And just take that big, long, stretchy arm and drop it behind you. Come back forward and let's do it one more time. Alligator stretch. Reach that hand away from your body, long arm. Let it go to the floor behind you. Now I'm going to challenge my stretching abilities by straightening that bottom leg, bringing the knee to the floor, and I'll hold that knee down. Goalpost position with that top arm, and I'm going to let it drop behind me, keeping my knee on the floor. Okay, gravity, stretch my shoulder. Stretch that chest, my pecs. Someone keeps sending me all these pics. Sending me pictures from 2015. Guess that's 9 years ago. Right before my car accident. It's funny though, that car accident is what brought me into teaching fitness. All right, support your head and neck, thumb to the floor, and let's do a shoulder sweep. So that means I've been into the fitness training and teaching for 9 years. Doesn't feel like 9 years. I feel like there's so much more to learn. So glad I do it though. Better person for it. That's what you call making lemonade. Shoulder sweep, keeping that thumb towards the floor and stretching out those shoulders, since we did some strengthening there yesterday. Or even if you didn't, you just want range of motion. Okay. Keep an eye on that clock. All right, here we go. Let's stretch our hamstrings and then our hips. So, lying on your back, knees bent. have a towel or band, or you can just use your hand. Okay, so right leg first. Such a good stretch because you have full control of how far you're going to pull that leg up. I'm keeping my left knee bent the first time I do it. And then I'm going to just hinge at my ankle, toes towards the ceiling, heel towards the ceiling. Toes. Actually try to push that heel right towards the ceiling and make that a really long straight leg. Forward, back. That's it. Whee. Okay. I'm gonna lower my leg down, straighten the other leg, and then bring it right back up. Oh, and I'm still trying to push that heel towards the ceiling so I can get that full stretch in my calf and the back of my leg, my hamstrings, and your calf muscle, which is your gastrocnemius. You really want to keep that stretched out. That way you don't get any issues with your heel, or sometimes you can get that plantar fasciitis. So you want to keep everything nice and loose in the bottom of your leg and your hamstrings. No pulling allowed. Point those toes towards your face. All right. Okay, heel towards the ceiling. I'm going to anchor my left arm out so I can drop my right leg straight out to the side. Stretch that inner hamstring, the big bully that causes sciatica and plethora of issues with the hip and knee, which is why I stretch it all the time. It's one of my main, especially if you're traveling and sitting, that's the one that tends to get the tight issue. Don't forget to take a nice, lovely deep breath in and let it go. Another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine your body just sinking into the floor. It's Friday, TGIF. I'm gonna bring my leg up. Take off the band, arms out at the sides, and then I'm gonna drop that right across my body towards the floor. I got my arms out at my sides so that I keep my shoulders square on the floor. Excuse me, I think I need water. All right, back to center. Let's do the other side. Left foot straight out, pull it up. Never say never. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. And I'm going to do that ankle hinge where I point my toes to the ceiling and then my heel to the ceiling. Or you could just imagine toes to your ceiling, toes to your face. Either way, I'm hinging that ankle. I'm going to lower my leg down, straighten the other leg, and bring it all the way back up again. Pushing that heel towards the ceiling. Let's get a big stretch in the back of that leg. Deep breath in. Let it go. I already have my right arm anchored out at my side because I know I'm going to drop that leg straight out to the side. And keep that heel prominent, pushing it out away from your body. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Sink your body into the floor. Let gravity stretch that. Let it go. Just mentally send that message from your brain to that area to let go and release and relax. Deep breath in. Right, let's take the band off. Put both your arms out at the sides and drop that leg across your body towards the floor. So I've been listening to a lot of spiritual talkers, speakers about like Eckhart Tolle, about manifesting, being in the moment. It's all spiritual and nice to hear. The other day I bought this book about manifesting, but it's written by a neurologist. Super interesting. The thing I find the most interesting is how in alignment his information about how your brain works and how to relax the body and how to manifest and be in a calm state, positive state, it's like parallel to all these spiritual speakers. All right. Come back to center. I want you to pull your knees to your chest, but imagine pulling the knees a little bit on the outside of your chest so you can get it. Just like child pose, but now you're lying on your back. Okay, ankle circles. And one of the key ways to put yourself in that state neurologically, because you're sending the messages to your brain and getting responses, right, is to lay down in a quiet place, relax, and relax your body from your toes to the top of your head. So you start with your toes, then you relax your feet, and so on, all the way to the top of your head. Change direction. That is one thing I've gotten from the book already on how to relax properly. So I'm going to stay in this position, but I'm going to put my hands on the back of my legs, pull those knees just to the outskirts of my chest, and then I'm going to straighten the bottom part of my legs so my heels are facing the seat. Stay in this position, or you can take your hands and put them up on the outsides of your feet. Really pull those knees towards the floor and pull your feet apart a bit. What we're doing is we're opening up your lumbar spine, giving some space in there. Take a deep breath in, let it go. All right, let's roll up into the seated position. Gonna see how much time we have. Just enough time to do our 90-90 hip stretch. Perfect. Just what I was hoping for. All right. All those beautiful 90-degree angles at the ankle, at the knee, and at the hip. All right. Just put our chest down to our shin. It's funny, we're supposed to be going camping with a whole bunch of people out. And one by one, as I do this class, people are canceling. What? Bunch of wusses. Guess I'm gonna miss it because I can't get that many weekends off. So I booked this weekend off. Sit up and lean that torso towards your knee. Super frustrating because I actually booked a whole weekend off so I could get to know my boyfriend's friends and they all canceled. All right, let's reach for that back foot. Put your hand behind your back or on the floor beside your front knee. Knee to the floor and lift that foot up if you can. Oh, I could barely do that today. Ugh. Put the foot back down. Lift the whole leg. Put the leg down. Push the knee into the floor, even though you're probably getting a cramp down your leg. Oh, I know I am. I'm going to push my knee into the floor and then I'm going to walk my hands away from my body and twist as far as I can go while I'm pushing that knee into the floor. Come back to front. Keep that knee in the floor. Reach for that front foot. Stretch down. Then reach again, just above the knee down. Keeping that knee into the floor. That's your anchor. Come back up. Knee in the floor, but now you're reaching for the back foot again. There we go. Chest onto the shin. Oh, I can sure feel this in my glute, my hamstrings, all the way down my leg, up the side of my back. Crazy. Deep breath in and let it go. Let's sit up. Oh my goodness, I can barely lean into that knee. Outside knee. My back is like, you bad girl, what have you done? I know what I did. I traveled. Okay, let's reach for that back foot. Reach. Hands behind your back. Put your knee into the floor and lift the foot up. Oh my goodness. I'm getting a lot of cramps. Means I really needed this. Foot down, lift the whole leg. Put the leg down, push the knee into the floor and twist your body as far away as you can from that knee. Stretch that hip up. Right. All right. And it looks like my timer went off, so it looks like that's it for us. What? That went by quick, as usual. Feels so good to stretch, I'll tell you.